Hello, and welcome to Puzzlers Anonymous. My name is Kevin, and I'm a puzzle addict. And I think I'm going to keep the preamble as short as I can today because I want to do two intro puzzles. Puzzmo has a new one, so I always like to do those. I think they just have one new one. And then I think I was talking in a previous one about Murdoku, and I think most of the people on this channel who know me have been sort of have experimented with Murdoku for a bit, but I thought it would be fun to do one on here. Just because, I know a few people who have the physical book and are doing it at different paces. But I don't know. There's other people on here who haven't done it, or for those of us who have been discussing it in texts, like, you can see how I do a Murdoku. I don't know. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The preamble. First off, camping trip was awesome and everything I expected. I had some friends come from out of town. I had a lot of friends from around town come. It was like 5 of us camping, including myself, for both nights, and it's just nice and chill. I love camping. This park is great. My bike's still in the shop, so I had to ride my old bike, which was a bummer, but I had a friend coming from out of town, so she drove all my stuff. It's almost like the bummer of Lake Kaganza State Park is it's just a little too close, actually. It's like just over an hour to bike there, and it's a very nice ride. It's like I kind of just wish it was a bit longer because I love biking and it's a bit more of an adventure. But yeah, camping was super chill. Then like Saturday during the day when we were hanging out, it's like everyone showed up like right at 10, which was, I didn't give anyone times. I was like, we're going to be there like the whole weekend to do whatever. The people knew around like 4:30 we were leaving to go to the soccer game. It's like everyone showed up at 10. We had a nice little crowd. We went out to the beach, just hanging out and chatting, decidedly chill. Exactly what I wanted. Went to the soccer game. That was fun. I made a sign for the soccer game. And I got on the team social media. Maybe I don't have this. I thought I saved it in my photos. Well, I'll find it from where I texted it to my friends. That'll do it. Okay. This is me making it on a team social media. I'll give you a second to read it. There you go. So that was fun. And then we got back to the campsite. We were just sitting at the campfire Saturday night. We heard meowing. Oh, I closed my photos too soon. We heard meowing and looked down, and there's a little cat there. He had a collar. He had a little tracker on it, and the collar had a name tag on it. He was Stoley, the stray cat of Stoughton, and it had his Instagram handle. So yeah, you can track his adventures. Maybe I just got to bring this up. Stoughton Stoley. I don't have. Uh-oh. They got a post about Stoley having problems. Oh no, this is a different thing. That's some anime thing. No, did I spell it wrong? Why is it not coming up? This is vodka in Stoughton. I swear, when I searched for him on my phone, it was good. Maybe if I don't leave a space in there. Just do it like his handle. I don't know why this is happening. I know this search engine I use isn't always great, but it's I searched on my phone on the same search engine in the woods, and it came up. Why is the computer different? Here we go. Stoley Spoony Banger. Yeah, so I don't have Instagram, so I can't open the posts, but yeah, he's got his whole channel, and they're just like, if you get pictures of Stoli, tag him, which we did not do, but we took pictures IRL, and it was just a cool cat. He was there the night before, and then he like hung out a bit more in the morning. He came by. He's just like, he's got that stray cat energy where he'll like come by and say hi, and then he'll just like wander off into the prairie. Just a little cool dude. And then he went into my rain fly. So yeah, very fun. Exactly what I wanted out of my not bachelor party camping weekend. I think that's it. Gina's got bridal shower this weekend, which is a whole to-do. It's not a to-do. It's fine. It's just we had to get together and they kind of talked about wanting if she wanted a bridal shower or not, and she felt like the answer that she gave was no thanks. But then like my mom kind of collected phone numbers from her mom and sister, and sort of made it happen anyways. We also like didn't want a gift. We didn't want wedding gifts, but then like my mom kind of turned this into a gift giving thing, and it's fine. Like it's boo-hoo, someone's throwing a party for you and giving you presents. But it's annoying when you say you don't want to do something and someone sets it up for you. So like it's fine. And I think she's excited because like, it's going to be a good get together, and her mom is coming out from Duluth and her sister is coming up from Chicago. So like that's the main story here, is they're going to be in town for the weekend. That's our excitement going on. But there is a bit of, Gina said like, okay, I think I have a better understanding of what to expect from your mom being in a family together. And it's like, yep, that tracks. So those are two big things. Let's get into it. Yeah, so Puzzmo has a new puzzle, this Hue Complete Me, which I have described as colorblind hostel. And I am colorblind. So I shared this with the group chat, and my buddy Jason said, finally a puzzle that I can beat Kevin at. I also want to say I'm not mad at Jason or Puzzmo. I think a lot of people, there are people who overlook colorblindness in planning things. Less and less now. Most like board games have gotten really good at it, where they won't just have things differentiated by colors. They'll also have things differentiated by shape. Can I think of one right now? Calico. I'm not wearing pants. I gotta censor it when I stand up. I gotta just put on pants in the morning. It's fine. Whatever. Calico is just one example. A lot of board games do this now. I think most people have understood just that, like, it's easy to differentiate based on this. So, Calico, you're arranging tiles by color and pattern. So, like, you can see these are the same pattern but different colors. And this is a totally different color and a totally different pattern. So, that is the game. Color is a big part of it. Then they have little buttons that if you get 3 of the same color, you get a button for them. So if you get 3 reds, you get a little flower. If you get 3 yellows, you get a little moon. So you can probably already see where I'm going with this. There's a shape for each color. And then on the tokens, they also have the shape on there. So even if you can't tell that this one is red or like reddish pink or whatever, you can see the shape for that on there. So people have gotten very good at accommodating colorblindness where applicable. And that's rad. But guess what? If you have a game that is just aren't based on color, like this game is. There's no shapes. It's just organizing color. Or there's that board game, which also has hue in the name. I can't remember, but the one where you're like guessing colors. It's just like, there's no way to make that colorblind friendly. And that's okay, because I don't think, like, it sucks doing a color-based game when you're colorblind, but also, like, people shouldn't not be allowed to make color-based games just because it's harder for some people. Like, it's a bummer for me. It's kind of funny, like, you know, the thing Jason said. So I'm like, go for it. And it's just going to be harder for me. It'll be like an obstacle. But yeah, I think if there's a game where you can differentiate by something other than the color, you have an obligation to do so. But it does mean people can't make a color-based game. So I think this is fun. I'm going to try doing one, but first I'm going to show you a different one. Ooh, this background color is wonky and feels like might be a bug, because that just seems like that's not even what they had when I had it here. This was a black background. That might fuck this up. It's a new game. It's in the experimental thing, so they're kind of, you know, they might be getting the kinks out. I wonder if maybe this is a Safari thing. I doubt it. Chrome, are you opening? Yeah, okay. Is this such good content? You loving this? Okay, yeah, it might just be an issue with it. What happens if I go back in the archives? Okay. They are intentionally choosing colors. I was going to check on my phone real quick because it was looking different on browser versus the mobile app. But then we're going to get into this puzzle. I'm not going to waste any more time on the logistics of it. Okay, yeah, there are color backgrounds on the mobile app too. Strange. Experimental game. They're making choices as they go. Okay, so I'm going to show you the large first, because when I do the regular one, I want to take like a legit stab at it, so I want to have the rules down first. So what you're doing is putting colors in order. And the large is a tricky one. You might have seen on the normal one, they had the corners already set. The white dots mean correct. So usually they give you some of the colors. This, the large one being the tricky one, is going to be, they're giving you less, but you're trying to put things in order. And usually, yeah, this is kind of hard to explain without the corners, but usually like the big bold colors are the corners. Like the purple's probably one of these. Boom, we got that. And then I'm betting this green is one of the corners. Yeah, ooh, that put a few in place. Then we got the blue, and there's probably one more. So then you're trying to just put things in order. Hey, maybe I'm pretty good at this. Oops. So here it's like the shades going from purple to cyan, and then here it's from that to the bright green. So you're getting it in order. Because it's Puzzmo, they always sort of have a few options for success. Just want to see, yeah, the scoring, because they have leaderboards, and there's a few ways to score. So one is fastest solve. Another is fewest moves. And a third one is high score. Because I think you get points for every one that you do, but then like if you get multiples in the same move, there's like a multiplier for that. Ooh, a move that lacks no tiles deducts points. And then the more you miss in a row, the bigger the deductions. Okay, and then ones that you get earlier in the solve are worth more points. So you get points for going faster. And I think the double... Okay, the double doesn't give you extra points. It's just you're getting points for both those tiles in the same move. And the points are like on a timer, like in a trivia type game where like, yeah, points are worth more earlier in the match, less as it goes on. Incorrect moves take points away. Multiple incorrect moves in a row take more and more points away. I probably over-explained this. Now I'm going to try solving this legit. And you can make fun of me. So the dark blue makes the most sense to me. I'm kind of looking for like dark blue go into red, which is either going to be this or I was going to say this, but maybe that's the next one there. Ooh, guess what? Maybe I'm not colorblind. Maybe I'm really good at colors. You ever think about that, Jason? He says because he got like 2 right. That I got one on accident. See, it's this would also be consistent with the fact that like I'm colorblind for specific colors. So like, yeah, probably the red is going to be harder for me to get correct. This is so vibes based. I'm not even thinking. I'm just clicking. That goes there. Yeah, these middle ones where it's like not just doing the rows, but like the squishy rows. Those are obviously trickier. Ooh. I just don't know what goes there. Okay, this seems here. Okay, so then that should be that and that. All right. Ooh, look at those satisfying animations. Puzzle has such great success animations. No songs, though. Okay. Time 1 minute, 7 seconds. Global rank 83. Oh, that's for largest pickup. Yeah, let's just go to the whole leaderboard. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're doing this now where your leaderboard is only people that you follow, but I want the everyone one. Yeah, getting 2 in one move. I mean, yeah, largest pickup, it's like, okay, so the top 2 people had 6 in one move, then it's all the 4s, so that's not much. Fewest moves, 676. 8 moves to win it. Jeez. What some people, I think, do is look at it ahead of time before they click in, and then they're just doing it, which is part of why Puzzmo has the different leaderboards, because like some of these are ones that you can get from pre-planning, and some of them don't favor that as much. So yeah, 700s and 800s, I would think that that's pretty bad for 7 a.m. I think when I was doing my Puzzmo experiment before of doing it every day, it seemed to me like there was probably like 2,000 like consistent everyday users. So among the people who are like 6:30 a.m., I feel like there probably haven't been more than 824 competitors today. How patient can we be for clicking back, actually? This might take. There should just be a go to last button. This is good content too. Kevin clicks through the leaderboards. Wow, a lot of tide times here in the 40s. 500. 600. Anyone know any good jokes? The devil, 666. 700. Okay. Here we go. We're to me. 826. That's where I am. How much further back does it go? Oh, wow. Look at these losers. They must be extra colorblind. Okay. So, yeah, like 1,000 people. It crashes out. When you get to the end, it just crashes out. But I was like 842 out of just over 1,000. So, yeah. Pretty bad. Though also, I think a lot of the people who do it right away are like the super users. Okay, Murdoku. I don't know what level of difficulty to do on this. So yeah, my friends Garrett and Abby were the ones who made me familiar with this book. And they do it like on date nights. So they're only doing it like once a week, if even that. Where Gina and I have gotten kind of hooked, and we'll do a few a night. Not every night, but many nights. And they told me, like, in the book, it's in order, and it increases in difficulty as it goes. So they told me that around the 20 mark, it gets pretty tricky, which is true. But now we're on 34, and they're still on 23, suckers. The point being, as I'm doing one of these, I don't know how easy, medium, hard, expert corresponds to number 34 in the book. I'm thinking we're probably in medium territory, and I'm sort of resistant to doing hard or expert because I worry that like it's going to show new techniques that I haven't seen in the book yet, and I don't want to get ahead of Gina. We're doing it together. So I think I'm going to try a medium. I'm also excited for this. Ooh, it gets a little pixely at this size. But I am excited for this because, Josh is also doing them. He got the book. But then he's also found he has more profound vision issues than me. Sorry to out you, Josh. But you know what? I never said your last name. You could be any Josh. I even talk about different Joshes on this channel. And I didn't say which Josh this is, you know? So, but whatever. Anyways, he actually prefers the online one, both because it's higher contrast with the screen, but also because it does a lot of the visual cleanup for you. I'm going to stand up again, but I'm going to get our book. Because the thing is, when you're writing in pen, I'll do like an early one. At least pre-20s, so anyone watching won't have spoilers. It gets pretty fucking messy with like the writing in. And this one, like on the website, when you lock someone in, it does X's for you. It's very satisfying. So let's do it. We have a universal rule, which was there was exactly one person sitting in a chair. That is going to be tricky. A lot of the other ones will say the person who is sitting in a chair, so gosh. Arnold was alone in one of his areas. So if you look at the names of the rooms, this is Arnold's pool, Arnold's backyard, Arnold's house. So he's in one of those three, and he's alone. Bree is also in one of her areas. She's alone. So there's 3 rooms here, and we have 8 people. So there's only going to be 2 rooms that have 2 people. And then there's always someone, the victim, in this case, Vivi, who is alone with the murderer. So it's like there'll be one room that has the victim and someone else, and that is where the murder took place, and whoever is alone with them is the murderer. And then there'll be a second room that has 2 people, and the rest of them will all be solo rooms. Okay, Casey was on a bed. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to, I think, if you click each one, that puts it on. And when you hold on them, that will block it off. Are there other? Okay, yeah, you can X things out. So yeah, let's X this out now. Whatever. This is actually one of the techniques they teach in the first page of the book. So Casey's on a bed, and there's only 2 beds. So he's in this row or this column. We don't know which one, but we know that they both see this chair. Like, if he's here, it's going to block out that chair. If he's here, it's going to, like, no matter where Casey is, no one's in that chair. So we're Xing it. Okay. Dorothy was alone with a man. Scandal. Ada was on a carpet. There's only 2 spots for those, which once again blocks off a spot. So only one person is in a chair. We already know that. And now we know there's only one chair that someone can sit in. Maybe that means something. Maybe it doesn't. Fabian was beside a tree. So here is another rule with the Murdokus. It's like, this is a tree. He is beside it, which could be here. And only there. If a space in a different room is not beside the thing. So this spot is beside the tree. This spot is not. You can't be in the pool beside the tree. This one's weird because of the pool. Usually it's rooms. Usually there's walls involved, but respect the process. So he is there or there. He's not here because there's a shrub. Like, look, I can't even add him here. Can you hear me clicking and trying? And he's not here. I could put him there, but it's not true. Because beside is orthogonal. Okay, Generva is also beside a TV. She can't be there because we blocked out Casey. So really there's only 2 places that she can be. And we already have now 3 people in Arnold's room. Okay, actually I was wrong before. Sorry. I said there's 8 people and 6 rooms, so there has to be only 2 rooms with 2 people in it, but that's not true. Sometimes they have a rule that says there's only one, that each room has a person in it or no room is empty, but that is not true here. Okay, so Generva is beside a TV, Fabian's beside a tree, Ada's on a carpet, Casey's on a bed. Now we get into the more esoteric rules. Dorothy's alone with a man. So she is not going to be in Arnold's house. Because we know that Generva is there. She could be in Arnold's backyard. Let me make sure I'm working as Dorothy here. Because it could be Fabian. She could be in the pool. That would mean that Arnold is in there. So those are both good. She could be in Bree's backyard. Because it could be Fabian. And if that's the case, that would move Ada to Arnold's house. Because she's alone with a man. That means she's not alone with a man and a woman. Alone with means just there's just the 2 people in the room. That's probably obvious. Yeah, we got Casey. Is there anything we can do? Oh, can I block off rooms for people? Okay, that's that. I'm just looking at like the controls. I don't think so. Controls. Click suspect, select them. Click cell, add remove note. Press and hold to place them. Okay, you can put multiple cells. I don't know if I want to do that. Like what I could do is Dorothy could be, she's not in this room, but she could be in all of these rooms. I could do this. And I just don't think I want to do that. Ooh. I should pay more attention to the homeowners. Because Arnold's alone in one of his own areas. So he's either in the pool or the backyard. He's not in the house because, yeah. We can actually have a world where neither Casey or Ada are in this room. Casey can go there, Ada can go there, and then that doesn't block Fabian because he's still there. But Generva has to be here because she has to be by a TV. And this TV's blocked off. So, like, she's in that room, so that's locked in. So if Arnold is alone, he is in this upper area. If he's in the backyard, that kicks Fabian to the other house. If he's in the pool, he's just fucking vibing in the pool. He didn't harm no one. In fact, we know that Arnold is innocent because he's not alone with the victim. He's just innocent. He's just trying to live his life, and someone killed someone, either at his house or at the neighbor's house. So Bree is in one of her areas, but she's not necessarily alone. So she could be friggin' anywhere. That sucks. Okay, so what can we actually start eliminating on? We blocked off that because of Ada. There's not, like, these all work together. Is there a way to deselect? No, I'm just stuck as Bree. Like, these work together. Like, Casey could be here, and then Ada could be here, which would put Generva there, which would put Fabian there. That all works. I guess the other thing that we could start thinking about is where would the victim be? Because the victim has to be alone with someone else. So the victim is not in this room. Or no, she could be. Because it could be both of those are somewhere else and then Generva's there. But she could be alone in the backyard with someone. Let's think about this. There's exactly one person sitting in a chair, and there's only one chair. So someone does have to be here, which takes Arnold out of these spaces, because we don't know who's there, but someone's there. So Bree could be there because it's her area. Dorothy can't be there because to be alone with a man, she has to be with Fabian. And if she's there, that would take Fabian out of this one and just leave with Ada, who's a woman. I bet there's more we could do with Bree if we think about it. So Bree is... Bree is there. Dorothy's not there. So this is Bree or the victim. That's actually pretty powerful. So if it's the victim, that makes Ada complicit. But yeah, there's like, that chair has to be occupied. Interesting. So that means that Fabian, here, we're making progress. Okay. Fabian's only in two places. And we know that someone's in this chair. So no one else is in this column. I could go through and I could mark X's on all of these, but I don't think I need that yet. I really just gotta take out Fabian. He's not there, which means there's only one place he can be, which is here. So we can lock this in, and then this is what Josh likes about the online one. It knocks off the spots. And this should actually give us a lot, because now Generva can only be in one place. And then that limits Ada to this spot. We don't know which carpet space that she's on, but we know that she owns that column. So yeah, I try to do it a little bit on hard mode. Like, I could put X's there, but I don't know. I like to do it a little bit, holding it in memory, which is probably stubborn on my part. But this has been a tricky one, but it's coming into place. But anyways, Arnold is here. He's in this row, but actually we know more than that because he's alone in one of his areas. So if he was in this spot, strangely enough, just by the rules of Murdoku, he would be in the backyard with Fabian, which he's not. He's alone. So that puts him here. That has made Casey very limited, but still a little bit locked in. But now we have very few people left. Yeah, there's 5 left to lock in. Casey's one of these two. Ada is this row, so like no one's in that row with Ada. Dorothy's still a bit of a wild card. Bree is a bit of a wild card, but Bree should be pretty limited now. She's in one of her areas, so she could be here. Can't be there because of Ada. She could be here. She could be in the pool just vibing. But, yeah, this is interesting. Let's actually start marking in Bree. She can't be in this row. She might be in this chair. But if she's not in that chair, she can't be in this part of the pool. Because if she's not in the chair, the victim's in the chair. Because someone's in the chair. So if she moved to the pool, that puts the victim there with Ada. So then Bree could only be in this part of the pool. Except, I didn't X this out, but Ada's already in that row, so she can't be there. So Bree can't be in the pool. And she actually can't be in the backyard either, by some really weird logic. This is very specific to Murdoku. But the victim is alone with the murderer. So we know that Ada is here. So if Bree wasn't in the chair, she also couldn't be here, because then there's 3 people in the room with the victim, and then we don't know if it's Bree or Ada. So Bree can still be here, but she can't be anywhere else in either of those rooms. But she could be here. Do I not have her selected? Okay. She could be here. She could be here or here or here. She can't be on the shelf. Can she be on the bed? Yes. Casey's on a bed. But he's not the only person on a bed. So he could be there or Bree could be there and Casey could be over there. Okay. That doesn't limit it too much. It gives us a lot of options. Yeah, Ada's still locked in there. Dorothy's alone with a man. So she's not here because Generva's there. She could be here. No, she couldn't. Because this one has to be Ada's row. And this one has to be either Bree or the victim. Yeah, that logic's right. So Dorothy can't be... The reason she could possibly be in this space is then she's alone with Fabian. But Ada owns this row being on a carpet. Someone's in this chair. So Dorothy's not there. She's not in this room because there's a woman there. Those are all taken out. So she is alone with Casey. So that does a few things. That takes Bree out of here. And before we even put Dorothy in this room, we can just say, if she's in this room alone with Casey, we know Casey's in this room. So we can do that. That gives us Ada. And then there's only 2 spots for Dorothy. But again, this one is occupado. We don't know by who, but it's occupado. So then Dorothy, to be alone with Casey, has to be here. And then we just have Bree and Vivi, the victim. And this would be... What do Mark and Simon call it? It's like a Sudoku double that is unsolvable. There's a term for it. I don't know. I know Mark and Simon say chocolate teapot for something that is like get you new information but doesn't help you at all. It's as useful as a chocolate teapot because, of course, chocolate melts hot water. Whatever. But, like, I don't know the term for it, but you could have, like, an unsolvable double where it's like, okay, one of these is B and one of these is V, and we don't know how to differentiate it. But we do, because Bree has to be on her side. So we know that... I mean, there's a few ways we can tell. We know that this chair has to be Bree or Vivi, the victim. But Bree has to be in this side. We also know that the victim can't be here from the same rule that I said before of there's already 2 people in this room. And the victim is alone with the murderer. So Bree is one of these 2. And... oh, no, does that... no, that does, because Bree is a here or here. So she's not going to be here and then the victim's in that chair. Because when she's here, that is going to make that... block that off. And Bree has to be in one of these, so she has to be in the chair because someone has to be in the chair. No. Okay, cool. I didn't get it wrong. I just clicked wrong. I was worried, like, if you place the victim wrong, it would auto-fail. So then the victim is going to be here, and Generva is going to be in jail.
You enjoy prison, huh?
Kurt's going to jail.
Kurt's going to jail. Jail. Kurt's got
Generva's going to jail. That one had the timer on it. Then it disappeared, but I think it was like 18 minutes. So good thing I kept the preamble relatively short. All right. Let's get puzzling on Thursday, August 27th. Zachary David Levy. Probably not the actor because I imagine putting the middle name is to differentiate. I think the actor spells it with an I and not a Y. Remember that time when it was like Crossword Puzzle by Nick Offerman? Yes, that Nick Offerman. More celebrity puzzles, Will, or whatever. Okay. These don't look Very themey. Apt synonym for wake up call. I mean, that's tricky, but it's not in italics. It doesn't have anything tricky. So, I mean, anytime we don't have obvious themes, we are in Rebus Watch. Seattle Pro Soccer Team, I actually know the answer to that, but I'm still looking for theme characters, so I'll just keep going. Loaded with energy. Yeah, this is nothing's jumping out to me as a theme. Maybe it's some of the downs. Astronaut for whom a Pixar character is named. And I'm not reading it yet, but I am seeing that there's a revealer here. But this one I can actually get. Astronaut for whom a Pixar character's name is Buzz Aldrin, the namesake of Buzz Lightyear. Is he the namesake? If you have Buzz Aldrin and Buzz Lightyear, which one's the namesake? I think Aldrin is the namesake. Is there a term for the namee? Okay, this one's got highlighted in yellow. Totino's frozen food offering. I mean, that's got to be a pizza roll, am I right? Somehow, I'm on Reddit more than I wish I was. I hate Reddit. I think I was complaining about it last week. But I end up re-downloading the app every once in a while for various reasons. But then, like, they always suggest other stuff for you. And, you know, they keep trying certain subreddits for a while. That'll always pop up in your feed. And recently I've been getting McElroy content, like the Adventure Zone stuff. And I liked the McElroys. I listened to my Bam Bam and Adventure Zone a lot back in the day. I don't really listen to podcasts anymore, but also just like, I don't know. Your tastes change. I have nothing against them. I just, you know, feel like I listened to a few 100 hours and I'm good. But the point is Totino's makes me think of them. They did the whole Totino's pizza roll episode. Gesture, also known as Spirit Fingers. That's going to be Jazz Hands. We're going to get all of the theme answers before ever seeing the revealer. But here's the thing. Is none of these have been tricky. So I think there's going to be something else going on. Or is it just double Z's? Double Z's, baby. Bear of Children's Rhyme. Fuzzy Wuzzy. I would not have got that if not for already picking up on the Z theme. So, okay, we got that. Now let's look at our revealer. 2004 inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and a hint to blah, blah, ZZ Top. This guy just figured out the theme. This guy just figured out the theme. Yeah. I'm glad that this is an easy puzzle. No offense, Zachary David Levy, who has a Z at the top of his name. Fucking great. But I'm glad about that because I did take a while on my other two puzzles, especially that Murdoku. So, yeah, easy theme. Knock it out. Let's knock out this puzzle. Open with one's teeth, but it's tricky. I'm thinking about like tearing the thing, but this is something else. I don't know. But I'm also just going to hit the acrosses because why not? Network that launched in 1994 with the film Scent of a Woman. Network. So that was like a TV, made for TV movie. I've heard of that movie. I don't know anything about it. Bed, threads, PJs, because you wear them to bed. They want you to think it's threads for a sheet, but it's threads that you wear to bed. Pre-Inca civilization known for its underground aqueducts and geoglyphs. I don't know, but that sounds cool, and I want to learn more about it. November birthstone. Does it feel like a lot of these are not fitting? Maybe there's trickery. If I have to reverse my figured out the theme, I'll be so sad. Ooh, do I have to put... Do I have to put the Z's at the top? This could... Like, do I have to do... Zizipia roll? There's no way. It couldn't be. Except... This is the one that set me off. I don't know the birthstones. But feel like topaz is one of them. And I think what really got me questioning it is I don't think there's any birthstone that ends with an I. I think... What network ends with a Z? Is there something like showbiz? Open up one's teeth. Oh, but the Z would be in the middle. Yeah, because then this could be... I want to say Aztec, but no, the Z would be... Has to be the middle letter. Trickery and treachery. Alertness, aid. Oh. Because I also have to be thinking about how these letters would move if the Z was at the top. I was thinking about jazz hands if we moved the Z's up here. But it's not just that. I basically have to move them all to prove this. Except for I've already proved it, so I don't need to. Because this isn't looking at D if it's true that the Z's are moving to the top. This is looking at I, which has moved up. And an alertness aid is high viz, baby. We got this. Reverse! Take back to figure out the theme. And now, put it back.
This guy just figured out the theme.
This is... Yeah. No. Do I have to reverse the whole thing? This has to become I somehow. Oh, okay. Take it back. Take it back. I didn't figure out the theme. But now I have figured out the theme. So you're not just moving the Z to the top.
Yeah.
You're taking the part where the Z is. You're moving. You're scrolling that whole thing to the top. And then I'm gonna do an animation of this, and it's gonna take me fucking 45 minutes to do. But you're not taking the word and moving the Z up. You are taking that chunk and you're like rotating the whole thing. So we're putting the Z at the top, and then we're finishing the answer. So it's Zarolpi. So then this is Zaldrin. What is it like? Buzz Aldrin is so zaddy. He's so Zaldrin, you know. Gosh, this is so much work before I can finally write in high vis, which is gonna feel good to do. Okay. Oh no. I still think I can say I figured out the theme. I don't quite know what to do with Fuzzy Wuzzy. But like the theme's figured out now. I got it rolling. The question is, do I move it to here? Zizwizzy F-U. Or do I do, what was that? Why would that ever make sense? Do I do this? See, that doesn't make sense. Because that would be doing it different from the other three. That is chunking it up. You chunked it. But so, yeah, it is this. But here's the thing is, I could see a world where Zachary, David, Levi decides to get all silly with it and doesn't move Fuzzy to the top, but moves Wuzzy to the top. So I'm going to leave that there. But finally, I'm going to write in. Wait, no, high vis. Fuck, that doesn't even work anyways. Because, fuck. Well, I do think Topaz is right. Oh man, I moved all those around. I still think This rolling thing is what we want. Oh, man. I talked such a big game about how this was an easy one. This is going to be my longest video ever. Currently being tried. That could be trial, or it could be like trial, like a new product, or it could be like on trial in court. Well, this is the Sounders. Could also be the Rain, but no, it would be like, oh gosh. Are we completely lost on this? We might be. Yeah, Seattle's pro soccer team is the Sounders. I didn't even get to tell my high vis story yet because this is so fucked. But I do think this is high vis. What else would be an alertness aid that ends with a Z? But then, like, it's got to be moving letters elsewhere. In the same way that, like, there's no U. Oh, no, that does work. Shit. So if I put it back to just floating it to the top, that does actually work for Sounders. Oh no. 4-time platinum self-titled album of 2001. Don't know. Do you remember the Willennium? Will Smith declared it the Willennium back in, I guess, 99. And I don't think that came to pass. Oh, this is No Dose. Okay.
There's no way it couldn't be.
Reverse the reversal.
Hey,
Put it all back.
hey, yeah.
Reverse. Okay, so you do it like... I actually liked my other theme more. I like the way I did it. Now I can't even tell my high vis story. I mean, I could anyways. I wear high vis sometimes when I'm biking. I can't talk and do this. Ooh, see, this might be... This is, you do float all the Z's to the top, and then you do Y. Okay, all the Z's get floated to the top, but order stays the same. I'll still tell my high vis thing. I wear high vis sometimes, especially in my commute if I'm going to be riding like, you know, morning or night. So when I go to soccer games on weeknights, where I come like from work and then go to the game and then bike home afterwards, I wear the high vis. I don't know why I do that on weeknights and not on weekends, because the Saturday games also get done at 9. I'm also riding back in the dark. That's how I crash my bike. For some reason, I only ever do it on weeknights. But then one time I had the high vis with me. I didn't want to leave it on my bike, so I just wore it at, you know, to the game. And then all my friends playfully made fun of me for that. Like every time that I went anywhere, they were like, they started a chant of like, "Where's Kevin?" And then when I came back, it was like, "Kevin's back." Like, wow, how it's easy to see me. And then like there's chants where you like hold up scarves and such. So I've started holding up my high vis thing. So it's just become a bit. And I started a joke that is like, I'm going to start a supporters group just for stoner bikers called the High Vis Boys. So then whenever I get high, I text it to the group and say it's a meeting of the High Vis Boys, even though I'm the only member. Okay, I think we're back on track with this. The reason I figured out that it was the Fuzzy Wuzzy is this is Zsa Zsa Gabor. But now that I have it, I think I will go back to just crosses and see. Okay, open with one's teeth. I want it to be like razor, but I don't know. Yeah, this is something like biz, like show biz, but I don't know. This is not Aztec because the Z's in the middle there. CNBC subject. Are they the business ones? Is it just biz? I'm going to leave that. So yeah, this could still be a court thing. Apt synonym for wake up call. Don't know. Look at this. I hate the exclamation point ones. I can never remember how they work. It's like the thing. The answer is like the thing that you're looking at, which could be so many things. Make a right turn. I don't know. Greek organization informally. I gotta learn Greek organizations, man. That's a frat. I want it to be Ali. Like Muhammad Ali. 4-time platinum. I should know this. This sold 4 million copies. And I was conscious in 2001. This is going to be embarrassing when I get that one. More sap-like. Something hazier? Sap is a little opaque. Sesame Street character with a pet rock named Rocco. Isn't that Elmo? No, it's Elmo's little friend. Is it Zoe? Does Elmo like her? Or does he? No. Elmo likes Zoe, but he hates Rocco. Is that what it is? I feel like this is new lore since I stopped watching, but I've somehow picked this up by osmosis. But yeah, I think he likes the little girl. They're friends. The pig woman is disgusting. She does not leave the lizard man alone. Don't worry about it. Founder of Stoicism. It's going to be like, it's going to be that guy. But I don't know for sure. I thought that was more of a Greek thing. Zorba the Greek. Go the other way. It's going to be Zig or Zag. I want to say Zag. Just because Zig comes first, so then the other way would be Zag. Also, I peaked at 30 down, and it's either Oasis or Oases, so there we go. Biblical captain. Why is it in quotes? He didn't intend to be a captain, like Jonah and the whale. Loaded with energy. Zap. Zolt. Blank Khamenei, former supreme leader of Iran. I don't know who this person is, but I feel like it's a pretty safe bet that it's going to be Ali, which means the other one is not at 26. Daughter of Saturn in Roman myth. I gotta learn Roman mythology, man. That's Juno, right? I don't know that one. Like, if you stopped me on the street and asked me, I would never get it, but with 4 letters, and the first one's a J, and the last one's an O. I feel like there's like a moon that's Juno. Like, it's a moon of Saturn. Just sat around, lazed. Hey, respect to Zachary David Levi for coming up with so many words that use Z's. One sitting on a coop board. They want you to think it's a co-op board, but it ain't. It's a hen. I am a member of the Willie Street Co-op, and I love their newsletter because they always have letters to the editor, and there's always just some hilarious passive-aggressive shit from, like, Madison, busybodies, and then, like, it'll always be, like, like I read an article about fish sourcing, like, do you make sure that your fish doesn't have mercury or anything? And, they always give, like, polite, thank you for asking, we do such as it. And I wanted it to be like, yeah, dude, we're the fucking co-op. That's like our thing. Oh, you saw a Facebook post? That's our entire business. Yeah, that's what we do. But they're chill about it. But it's so fun to read. It cracks me up every time. Colombian offerings that may be served with Hagoa. I don't know what that is, but these have got to be harapas, right? Has to be. Conditions is going to be ifs. So then, yeah, our desert havens is going to be oases. Not to be the YouTube audio guy, like, oh, do you hear that in the background? But I am curious if Juniper's little noises are picking up. She is like sleeping right here on her little thing. She doesn't snore, but she just makes little noises when she's sleeping. She just goes, and I hear her doing it. Blank counting? Who's counting is what I want to say. Is that right? No, that is right. Who's counting would be WHO''S. I just got confused because I wanted it to be the other who's. Check in from a texter. You up? How are you? I think that is it. How are you? I've fucked up accent so bad, but I was trying to do Nacho Libre there.
How are you?
Discombobulated. I don't know. Akimbo. Hither and thither. I'm going to talk about the Milwaukee airport. I know this video is going long, and I've probably given this rant before. The Milwaukee airport is the best airport. And that's not just because I'm from Milwaukee. It is... There are so many great things about it. One is that it has kind of a more traditional layout of an airport. Like nowadays, you go through security, and then you're in the airport and you're separated. But the Milwaukee airport has a central area, and then like the terminals go off from there. So you can actually like park and go into the airport and like wait for your loved ones, which is great. It's just a quirk of the design. So there's a central hangout area, which is neat. And then they have like some cool spots. So there's a bar, which I think is again before security, where you can sit and drink beer and watch the planes. But then yeah, there's a few cool quirks about the Milwaukee airport. Number one is after the security spot. So sorry. After the security spot, and this is what relates to discombobulated, there's the area where you take off your belt and your shoes and whatever, and then you have to put it back together. And in Milwaukee, there is a sign in that area that says recombobulation area. They call the part where you are putting your belt back on the recombobulation area, which they just did as a fun little bit. But it's become a thing. I think there's like a blog now that is called the recombobulation area. Like it's just, people love to latch on to these little things. And, another phrase in Milwaukee is cooler by the lake. And it's always cooler by the large lake. So on any like weather report forecast, they'll be like, oh, it's 75 degrees today and cooler by the lake. So the cooler by the lake just became a phrase. But yeah, recombobulation area has become a thing. Recombobulation. Other two cool things about the Milwaukee airport. Second one is they have an extremely good used bookstore. Renaissance Books. It's just like, there's always airport shops, and books are a thing, but usually it's like, oh, I can get some shitty bestseller, next to where you get a frozen coffee. Excuse me again. But Renaissance Books is like a really good used bookstore. So that's great to have in an airport, and it's in that first area, so you can just go to the Milwaukee airport, grab a beer, shop in the used bookstore. It's great. The third great thing about the Milwaukee airport is not actually a thing about the airport, but about the experience of flying into Milwaukee, which is like there's just a guy by the airport. He has a building. I think it's not even like a house. I don't think it's like a commercial building, but just like in the path as you're landing in Milwaukee, he put a big sign on his roof that says, "Welcome to Cleveland," to confuse people as they're landing. And I love that. I don't know a word for discombobulated that ends with an A. Large storage unit. I don't know, but I'm also skeptical about the arrangement of letters on Fuzzy Wuzzy here, so we'll see. Be a rat. It's like snitch. Snitch would actually work, but then what's the... Be a snitch? Dry. People say dry snitch, but I don't actually know what that means. 2007 horror sequel, Saw 2. I'm going on a lot of tangents today, but just watch the ContraPoints video about Saw. It's really good, and I reference it all the time. No, I will talk about what I find interesting about it. I'm so sorry. After this, tangents are done. But there was that whole period of movies then that, people called torture porn, of like Saw and Hostel and all that. And the whole thing is like, it was so depraved. It's like every reviewer was like, oh, these movies are like, people are watching this and they're so titillated by the torture. Ooh, it's so disgusting that we find entertainment from this. And her point was like, I watch these movies and I sympathize with the person being tortured. And I don't think it's cool. I think it's horrifying. And I'm imagining what would happen to me in that situation. And the reviewer is having that same experience. They're disgusted and terrified by it. But then they're imagining that some other audience member loves it for reasons different from them. And it's like, did you meet that person? or are you imagining this person? And I think that's a very powerful metaphor. I think about that a lot in like bike discourse, or like people talk about like the flashing lights. You push a button and there's a flashing light for the pedestrians, and people are like, oh, those are more dangerous because, you know, people just go without looking. And it's like, did you see that happen? Because like you push it and you look, but you just imagine like someone else pushes it and doesn't look. Or it's always like, you know, like I bike safe, like someone else is just doing all this stuff. And it's like, is that true, or are you just making up a guy? But do watch the Sock ContraPoints video. It's very good. Simpsons character Nahasapedapedalon is a poo. Monotonous hum is a drone, like the little noises Juniper's making. Hat decoration in a marching band is a plume. Those are, you gotta be careful. We would do in marching bands, like there was one person whose job would keep them in little tubes, and it's like you don't put on the plumes to the last second because you gotta keep them safe. Relay division, I think, is a lag, is how they break them up. Word before park or after cheap is skate. I don't know if I would have known that. That was fun. I think in my brain, cheap skate there was a C in the skate, like it wasn't the same word, but there we go. Less candid, perhaps. I don't know. Director. Some in Leon. Is that Spanish? I think. Allied group is NATO. You're not the only one. Something else too. Us too. Longtime Saturday Night Live announcer Don. He didn't die. I think he retired because now Daryl Hammond's doing it, but I don't know the guy's name. Start to type. Stereotype. Action figures and such is toys. Parrot is ape. I love that, of using an animal to mean another animal. Indian Prime Minister, 91 and 96. Don't know. Tropical fruta. I'm going to say piña. Pineapple. I feel like, is that... Piña has an accent in it, but fruta must not. Pick, file, format. JPEG. Put out. Could be so many things. It's so close to like, I need to pause and get water, but I think I can power through. 911 responder, EMT, music for airports, composer. I don't know, but it's got to be Eno, because he makes ambient music and he's Crossword Ease. So then more sap like is oozier. I probably could have got that. Feudal estate is a fief. Lens solution brand. I think it's renew. So okay, so stoicism is Zeno. Didn't do that. I did, but didn't do it on purpose. And that sounds a lot more Greek than Zao. So renew. Cool. 10 million ergs. That's embarrassing how long it took me to decipher that number. That's got to be a joule. I wouldn't have known that, but I mean, I know some of these. Okay, yeah, I should have got that the biblical captain was... No. Wait, I looked at that when I was doing the acrosses. Somehow I just like drifted to that because I think I was thinking that as a 3-letter one. Okay, so then 36 is not just my, is our. Biblical captain is Noah. Cool. French bread. Euro. Bread meaning money. Console for Chrono Trigger in brief is SNES. So loaded with energy is zestful. I never played Chrono Trigger, but people say it's very good. Completely miss a shot is airball. It makes sense now. I see. Soak. Sop? Does sop? If something is sopping wet, which is an adjective, does that mean you can sop something as a verb? Microscopic. We. Insects responsible for virtually all fig pollination. That must be wasps. I thought wasps were kind of like useless. I knew they were aggro. I didn't think they had positive things. But Gina loves figs, so thank you, wasps. Obsessively oriented. It's got to be anal, right? Record in a way is probably tape. A little too pleased with oneself is smug. So discombobulated is at sea. I like that. Bloke is gent. The devourer of all things per Ovid. I don't know this quote, but I feel like it's got to be time. Perpetually. Always. Clumsy vessel is arc. Not connected to Noah, but near it. Pretty good. Bygone cousin of a kiwi. I mean, I want it to be a boa. Just because of the letters, but like a snake and a bird are very different. I mean, if I look at... Damn, these semicolons are getting me. I was just trying to hit the space bar. If I look at be a rat, that's name names. So a moa must be a type of bird that I guess is extinct. Open with one's teeth. Unzip. It's the teeth of a zipper. Stars is a network. I'm still on this one. I gotta learn my pre-Incan civilizations. Okay, so this is business. So that'd be IPO, initial public offering. Currently being tried. Is at bar? Is that like a legal thing? Apt synonym for wake up call is eye opener. I like that. Look at this as an image. So put out is sore. Yeah, you can be put out like that could be an adjective. You're like feeling put out. That can be sore. That's cool. Make a right turn. I want it to be like beeline, but I don't know. Oh, J-Lo. That is self-titled. All right. Large storage unit, gigabyte. Where are you at now? Tara? You son of a bitch. You finally did it. Okay, so soak is sog. That makes more sense. Okay, so this is saw. 4. Perpetually is ever. Less candid, perhaps, is slyer. Ooh, we're going to be getting pretty close to the solve protocol, I think, especially with how fucking long this video is. A-line? I don't know. It's going to be like oos. I don't know. This is going to be 2. Make a right turn is a tone. Like making it right. This is like Prado? Perdo. I think this is like at bar. It could be something. I can too. Could be you're not the only one. I just want this to be like Usas. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Initiate the solve protocol. I want to look up just this like SAZCE. Is that anything? No. Give me Szechuan sauce or something in Polish. This is not giving us anything. I mean, I know that this is the section. I just don't know what to do with it. What if we just do like... Let's just go to Google Translate and let's just get... What is the Spanish word for some? I bet it's going to be like there's going to be a few because of congregation. Yeah. That's the word for... Yeah, okay. Is Leon even... Is that Spanish? What if we look at a map now? God, we have to do so much editing with all these things that I'm bringing up. Where is Leon, Wisconsin? No. I want like the... Do I gotta do the accent? Yeah, it's Mexico. That's what I thought. So... Yeah, what would just be like the Spanish word for some? Yeah, it's so tricky because it's like some could be so many things. I think the can I felt pretty iffy about. I'm into. I don't know where to go with this. I think I'm just going to go to the wordplay and see if there's some themes and, talking about the tricky answers. And if not, I'll probably just go to the answer key because this is a long one. Zwifwy Zoo sounds like a Lovecraftian monstrosity with barbed tentacles and 600 eyes. Love it. Okay, got unzip, got atoned, got gigabyte, got names, got stereo. Got Euro. Got Arc. All right. Answer key. Shut it down. Unas. Okay, I can too is right. So at bar. Yeah, because like the bar is like the legal thing. So yeah, at bar does make sense. So it's just the unas was the thing. So the nasca should be the thing. Crap. Like that little section. I'm just looking. I'm not looking anywhere else. I'm just looking at the northwest. That's good. Where have we gone astray? I don't know. I'm going to check the puzzle. Yes, I know. It's going to mess with my streak. Okay. I probably could. I was even looking there. Pardo. That makes more sense. Congrats, you cheated. Cool. Thanks for watching this odyssey of puzzles. Be safe.